Hey, greetings, Embassy family. Prophet Chris here again. Want to talk to you about these battles that we didn't get to preach about on Sunday, that Joshua fights to take the land of Canaan for the Israelite people. Because I do believe, as I shared yesterday, that in each of these battles, we see some important principles of the kinds of spiritual warfare that we have to face. And so I want to share those with you. So if you didn't see yesterday, go check out yesterday's video where I talk about the battle for the city of Jericho. Today, I want to talk about the battle that we actually read in Joshua chapter 7, which is the battle for a city called Ai. And the city of Ai is different from the city of Jericho, because Jericho is a big fortified city, great army, and all that type of thing. Ai is actually different. It's a smaller city, small army, not fortified. Seems like it could be an easy-ish place to take over. And what happens is the armies of Israel go to take over the city of Ai, and they lose the battle. They get routed in battle by this small, disorganized army. And at first, Joshua is shocked by this, but he goes to the Lord, and the Lord tells him that there's a guy in Israel named Achan, and Achan actually took some of the things when they took over Jericho. Achan took some of the things that the Lord had told them to devote to the Lord, and Achan took some for himself. And what happens is Joshua has to go and get rid of Achan. They actually stone him. And once they deal with that sin in the camp, they're able to go take the city. And what we see right here is the battle that we have to fight against greed and temptation. Right? A lot of our temptations start with greed and this desire to satisfy ourselves. And what we actually see Joshua do is not only does he get rid of sin, but they have a ceremony where they rededicate themselves to the Lord. And that's really the key. When you're facing temptation, and when you're facing, especially temptation for greed, when we're facing any type of temptation, sometimes we fool ourselves into thinking that the threat of bad consequences is going to keep us from making bad decisions and falling into temptation. And I'm here to tell you that that's just not the case. Just like Achan took those devoted things, he knew exactly what the threat of the bad consequences were, and he went and did it anyway. That's because bad consequences don't really keep us from making bad decisions and falling into temptation. What you have to do is what Joshua did, which is to remind everybody of their devotion to the Lord, of their covenant that they have with God. And when we face temptation, we can't just think that the consequences are going to be so heavy that we stay out of the temptation. We've got to focus on holiness. But what holiness really means is that there is a singular devotion. You have to remind yourself in the face of temptation, not think about, am I going to get away with it, or is the consequence going to be too bad if I get caught? You've got to remind yourself in those moments, hey, I am created for God's glory and God's glory alone. That's why I'm here. God's going to provide everything that I need. He's going to give me abundant joy, great provision. What I have to do is remember that I'm created for His joy, and I'm created for His pleasure. And He's going to look out for my joy, and He's going to look out for my pleasure in this life. As you remind yourself of your purpose, your singular devotion to the Lord, that's when the spiritual power that you need to defeat temptation is going to rise up on the inside of you. And you'll make right decisions when you remind yourself that you're created for the Lord and you're devoted to Him. So I pray this is a blessing. I'll hit you with another video tomorrow. Have an awesome rest of your day.